Verstappen delivered Red Bull an F1 record 12 consecutive Grand Prix winners. He cruised the victory at the Hungarian Grand Prix after passing Lewis Hamilton in the opening lap. Verstappen got an excellent start from P2 on the grid to draw alongside the pole-sitting Hamilton, claiming the lead going into turn 1. The championship leader was never threatened as he cruised home by 33 seconds for a 7th consecutive win, which also meant Red Bull became the first team to win a dozen races in a row. Lando Norris claiming another second place for McLaren, while Sergio Perez pulled off a number of aggressive overtakes in order to finish third in the other Red Bull starting lights. Perez held off a charging Hamilton in the closing stages as Mercedes finally climbed over again on lower few, but the 7-time world champion had to settle fourth on a difficult afternoon where he lost 3 positions on the opening lap. Oscar Piastri was 5th, with his and Norris's results helping McLaren strengthen their grip on P5 in the Constructors' Championship, as Alpine suffered another double DNF after Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon collided as a result of some first corner pinball on the opening lap. George Russell made a really good recovery as well from 18th to 6th on the grid, promoting a pitch position by Charles Leclerc, dropping to 7th for a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Carlos Sainz was unable to progress after a brilliant start had lifted him from 11th to 6th after finishing 8th in the second Ferrari, ahead of the 2 Aston Martins of Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. Daniel Ricciardo recovered from his opening lap contact to finish 13th in the first race in the AlphaTauri, 2 places ahead of teammate Yuki Tsunoda. But Verstappen and Hamilton were lining up on the front row for the first time since the 2021 title was sold in Abu Dhabi, and as that race, it was a driver starting from P2 who got the better start. Despite being on the dirty side of the grid, Verstappen was immediately able to get alongside Hamilton and then overtake his former title rival at turn 1, narrowly avoiding contact. When Hamilton pushed slightly wide, the equally fast starting Piastri from P4 was able to get ahead of the Mercedes driver before the second McLaren and Norris overtook the pole sitter on the opening lap as well. But neither McLaren could put any pressure on Verstappen, who was able to price pit and he retained the lead and claimed another victory in fast lap to extend his championship lead to 110 points. The victory saw Red Bull move ahead of McLaren's 1988 record, 11 consecutive wins set by Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. For the first 12 races in a row, it's just incredible. Verstappen said, "What we've been going through for the last 2 years is unbelievable, and hopefully we keep this momentum going for a long time." Verstappen joins Sebastian Vettel, Roberto Scarri, Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg as the only drivers to claim 7 consecutive victories. But instead of challenging the leader, the McLarens will instead have their attentions turned to on Perez. The Medex can produce a very strong display as he charges through the field and lights on the grid for a mixture of overtakes and strategy. Alonso was past the 4 on the opening laps before Perez was getting his elbows out as he first overtook Sainz for P6 on lap 27 and duel with Russell a lap later to claim P5. The undercut enabled Perez to get ahead of Hamilton. The 1.9-second pit stop by Red Bull put him right on the back of Piastri's McLaren as they pitted him at the same time before hard racing between the pairs saw Perez overtake the Australian at turn 1 and McLaren edging onto the grass C4 back at turn 2. Perez started to become a threat for Norris, but in the closing laps it would be Hamilton who had the Mexican who focused on, but he was able to hold on to the third place by 1.5 seconds. Hamilton's hopes of turning his 104th pole into his 104th win and ending a victory drought which dates back to the 2021 Saudi GP were over by the first corner, and he cut a largely escalated figure after that. The 38-year-old frequently on the radio after Perez's pit stop, questioning how the McLaren cars built up a sizable advantage, but eventually came to his W14 in the closing laps when the fuel burnt off. With 14 laps remaining, he was able to reclaim 4th from Piastri as he began to reel in Perez for another podium finish to bring in possibility before running out of laps to set up an overtake opportunity. I had a bit of wheel spin and then obviously on the inside and he ran me wide and I got done by the team McLaren, said Hamilton. Then as after I just didn't have the pace to keep up with the guys. The balance of the car was pretty awful in the first stint, but I'm going to take the positives from yesterday. It was an amazing effort from the team to get to where we were, and to beat everyone in qualifying was really spectacular for us. Teammate Russell, however, made a really good recovery drive. He was able to make the most of the turn 1 chaos, which saw the stay starting Zhou Guan Yu in 5th, not Ricciardo, into the 2 Alpines to move up from 30th to 8th on the opening lap, and after a late pass on Sainz opened the opportunity to close up to Leclerc and take advantage of the penalty, and said P6 was beyond expectations. Strategists were creating between P11 and P7. Here we are on P6, head of both Ferraris, who started 12 positions in front of us. Leclerc's demotion was another frustration for Ferrari after a nearly 10-second pit stop, pit lane speeding penalty kind of is unacceptable. So yeah, another really poor day. But before I go, let me run you through the classification from the race. Max Verstappen taking the win, and yeah, any claims that Red Bull may be closing in are well and truly gone after that. Yeah, just absolutely incredible. Another great job from him. Norris in second. Yeah, I think he did really well to hold off Perez as well, so he can be really pleased with that. And McLaren in place recently has just been absolutely incredible. And then in third, you've got Sergio Perez. In a way, it's a good recovery drive, but in a way, you kind of go, he should be there in second anyway. So yeah, kind of like you make what you will. But Hamilton fourth, good job from him, you'd have to say. Really won after the first lap, which kind of didn't go his way he wanted. But after that, I think he kind of maximised the result. Not much more he could have done after that, and did well to get ahead of Piastri, who I think will be a bit disappointed with the second half of the race. But still another really good point. He's you have to remember he's a rookie. He's doing a great job. Russell, for me, one of the stars of the races. Really good, impressive drive for him, even in the third fastest car, to get back up to 6th. Then you've got Leclerc in 7th, Sainz in 8th. I think, yeah, poor car, but also at the same time, mistakes all round. Ferrari is just not a good place to be at the moment. Really disappointing. And then you got the Astons in 9th and 10th. So I'm really questioning whether Aston maybe took a wrong path in terms of development or something like that. Because to see them so low down is a shock, considering where they started the season. It was a track that you think would suit them. Then you got Albon 11th. Disappointing for him just to miss out points, but it is positive signs that he's that close and a track that theoretically shouldn't suit them. Then you got Bottas in 12th, Joe down in 16th as well. This was a really big opportunity for Alfa Romeo on a track which maybe looked like this season to pick up some decent points, but in the end it didn't work out, and yeah, I think that will be hugely frustrating for them. And yeah, potentially costly as well. Ricciardo finished Kenneth Tsunoda, especially after that first lap incident. That's a hugely impressive return for him as well. But for Yuki, I think that will be concerning. Hulkenberg 14th and Magnussen 17th. Disappointing for Haas, but kind of just their average race pace. Alpine having terrible luck. And Sargent, yeah, not a great race for him either with that last lap spin. But yeah, in the end, I don't think it would have made too much difference, would it? But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, subscribe to my video. Resting news and subscribe to my channel. It's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.